Halstead Telephone Company and R&J Broadcasting Incorporated is proud to present to you this broadcast on yourliveevent.com.
All right, welcome everybody. We're here live at Lisbon High School, Gymnasium for a North Dakota High School girls volleyball contest. We have Division A versus Division B tonight, as the Lisbon Broncos out of Division A will take on the Division B Sargent County Bulldogs. That's just ahead on yourliveevent.com. We'll step away, take a word from our sponsors, come back for our pregame show. That's just ahead in 30 seconds.
Community partner, working constantly and diligently to enrich the lives of everyone we serve. Bank North, always true.
The Bison Booster Club, an organization that is rooted in their support of the activities within the Milner Public School District and the City of Milner. They pride themselves on their community involvement in local donations to area projects and sponsorships to help make their community a pleasant place to reside. If you have any questions or are interested in becoming a Booster Club member, you can check out the Bison Booster Club on Facebook or talk with any of the existing members. The Bison Booster Club, helping make their community a better place to live.
Welcome back. This is yourliveevent.com. We are broadcasting from the Stockgrowers Bank broadcast booth high atop the gymnasium in the Crow's Nest. This is your Stockgrowers Bank broadcast booth for Stockgrowers Bank. It's your small town bank with your big time partner with Stockgrowers mobile app experience, banking at your fingertips anytime, anywhere, bank near, so you can go far with Stockgrowers Bank. Member your FDIC, equal housing lender. It's your Stockgrowers Bank broadcasting booth this 2025-2026 season here at the Lisbon High School Gymnasium, broadcasting all your high school athletics for football, girls volleyball, and then our winter sports, boys and girls wrestling, and then boys and girls basketball. And that's our lineup here on yourliveevent.com for all of your Broncos athletics. As we get into tonight's contest, Division A, Division B, the Lisbon Broncos out of Division A, Region 1, currently have a 1-2 region record, and they're 3-9 overall. The Broncos are coached by Amy Lyons, and the Sargent County Bulldogs out of Region 1, Division B, District 1, Region 1, Division B. They're currently sitting at 1-1 in the region, in Region 1, Division B, and they're 4-3 overall. They're coached by Jenna Anderson. And for the Lisbon Broncos, the Broncos opened up their season on the 2nd of September with a loss to the Oaks Tornadoes by a score of 2-3, then dropped a match against the Lemoore Litchfield Marion Lobos, 3-0 on the 4th of September. They came back and played in the Volley in the Valley, where they picked up their first match win of the season, going 1-2 up at the Volley in the Valley in Castleton on the 6th of September. Then they played Oak Grove here at a home contest where the Oak Grove Grovers, coming off a state place-winning finish last year in girls volleyball, placed sixth at the state tournament. They defeated Lisbon here in Lisbon's gymnasium on the 9th of September by a score of 3-0. Lisbon picked up their first region win on the 11th of September as they defeated the Wahpeton Huskies by a score of 3-0. Then they had a close one with their cross-county rivals to the north, the Underland Eagles, and they dropped that to the Eagles by a score of 3-2. And then they came back and played Kindred at home on the 18th of September. Then the Vikings defeated the Broncos by a score of 3-0. And then they traveled to Central Cass on Tuesday, and the Central Cass Squirrels handed the Broncos another loss on the season, another 3-0 loss. And that brings the Broncos to their overall 3-9 record. They're currently sitting at 1-2 in Region 1 play, Division A. And then for the Sargent County Bulldogs, they opened their season on the 30th of August at the Northern Cass tourney, going 1-1. They came back on the 4th of September, traveling to Wyndmere Lidgerwood, and they won that opening match with the Warbirds by a score of 3-1. Came back on the 6th of September, also at the Volley in the Valley. Then on the 8th of September, they lost a 3-0 contest to the Ellendale Cardinals. On the 9th of September, they were defeated by Lemoore Litchfield Marion Lobos 3-1. And then they also played the Underland Eagles, where they defeated the Eagles on the 18th of September by a score of 3-1. And looked like there was a couple contests we didn't have scores for Sargent County with Hankinson, Bardens County North, and still looking for that Maple River score. But that does bring them to their 4-3 overall record, and their 1-1 region record in Region 1, District 1, Division B girls volleyball. And they're up here against the Lisbon Broncos. Should be a good rivalry, or at least it has been a good rivalry in the past here in volleyball, with Sargent County taking on Ransom County here, with Gwinner taking on Lisbon in girls volleyball. The Broncos are next in action on the 30th of September, where then they will play Valley City, and that is another home contest. So the Broncos will face the Valley City Highliners, one of the favorites to win the state tournament this year in girls volleyball in Division A. And then for Gwinner, they're also in action on the 30th of September. They have a home game against the Richland Colts. And for girls volleyball, their region tournaments start on or at least in Division A, Region 1, their volleyball tournament for the region tournament is at Valley City the 10th to the 13th of November. And then the state tournament is in Bismarck from the 20th to the 22nd of November. For Division B, District 1, they have their district tourney the 30th of October to the 3rd of November. Then they play at Newman Arena in their regional tournament the 10th to the 13th of November. And then they're also in Bismarck at the Bismarck Event Center for high school state volleyball from the 20th to the 22nd of November at the Bismarck Event Center. As we move along to the Division A and Division B girls volleyball polls. So finally getting a look at our Division A and Division B girls volleyball polls. Your number one team in the state in Division A are the Thompson Tommies, sitting at 12-1. South Prairie Max is number 2 with an 8-1 record. Valley City, the number 3 team in the state out of Division A, with an 8-1 record. The Kindred Vikings are 8-2, the number 4 team in the state. And there's a tie for 5th in the top 5 of Division A girls volleyball across the state. It's the Carrington Cardinals tied with the Oak Grove Rovers for the 5th spot. Carrington currently sits at 9-1, and Oak Grove is at 12-4. And other teams receiving votes in Division A girls volleyball, you have Dickinson Trinity with 11-3 record, Mayport CG at 6-3, and Northern Cass is at 5-4. In your Division B volleyball rankings, Lytton HMB is the number 1 team with a 16-1 record. Number 2 is Langdon Area Munich, the defending Division B champions. They're the number 2 team in the state with an 11-3 record. And then the third-ranked team is Flasher, currently sitting at 15-1-1. Number 4 is Benson County, 11-0. Number 5 are the Richland Colts, currently undefeated at 9-0. Those are your top 5 teams. Other teams receiving votes in Division B girls volleyball, you have Trenton at 8-1, South Hart at 11-2, Edgeley Colm Montpelier at 11-3, Surrey 10-1, New Rockford Cheyenne 4-1, Medina Pingree Buchanan 11-5, Kenmare Bull Bells 12-5, and our Redeemers also with an 11-5 record, receiving votes in your latest Division B girls volleyball poll. As I said before, your defending state champions in Division B are the Langdon Area Munich Cardinals. They defeated South Prairie Max last year at the state tournament by a score of 3-1. And we do have 3 classes of girls volleyball this year, so we will have a new champion here in Division A with the realignment, and also a Division AA girls state champion. And then Langdon Area Munich is your Division B defending state champs. Looking at some of your Region 1A contests in Division A volleyball. In Region 1A, we have Northern Cass at Hillsborough Central Valley. Oak Grove is taking on Grand Forks Central, and Wahpeton is at Breckenridge. And then in some of that Division B volleyball, some of your area teams and across the state, we have Ellendale at Napoleon Gackle Streeter. Edgeley Colm Montpelier is at Lytton HMB. Kidder County is at Strasburg Zeeland. Barnes County North is at Oaks. Richland is at Enderlin. Maple River is at Winemere Lidgerwood. Hankinson's at Tri-State. And Lemoore Litchfield Marion is at Medina Pingree Buchanan. So those are some of your Region 1 Division A and your Division B girls volleyball contest this evening. And across the state, you can catch Northern Cass and Hillsborough Central Valley on yourliveevent.com as that will be broadcast live on your live event. So we will step away, take a 30-second break, and come back. We're just moments away now from our starting lineups and our opening serve here inside the Lisbon High School Gymnasium for North Dakota High School girls volleyball.
The Milner Public School District has a long history of academic, artistic, and athletic achievement and is proud of the programs and education environment offered. A fully accredited educational system, Milner Public School District operates 2 separate school buildings, including Sundale Colony School. Over 85%, that's right, 85% of the graduates of Milner High School attend some form of post-secondary educational institution. You can find more information on the Milner Public School District online at milner.k12.nd.us.
All right, welcome back here to the Lisbon High School Gymnasium for some of that North Dakota High School girls volleyball. Just like to welcome you to tonight's broadcast and like to thank our scoreboard sponsor here out of Bank North. Bank North is our trusted financial partner for generations, helping customers and communities build, grow, and prosper. To see what values-based banking can do for you, visit banknorth.bank today. Bank North, member FDIC, and equal housing lender. And just put another plug in there for all of our feature sponsors. I'd like to thank our feature sponsors this year for bringing you our Lisbon Broncos High School Athletics, and all of our ad sponsors for bringing you not only Lisbon High School, but your Sargent County High School Athletics for the fall season with your 11-man football and your girls volleyball. So just like to thank our feature sponsors and all of our ad sponsors. Without them, our broadcast would not be possible to bring these to you free of charge. And looking at the region standings for Division A. For Division A, Region 1 volleyball, your current division standings, your top 4 teams. We have Valley City High School sitting at 4-0 overall. They're 2-0 in the region. Kindred High School is at 3-1. They're 3-1 in Region 1 play. They're 6-3 overall. Oak Grove High School is 2-1 in Region 1. They're 12-4 overall. And Central Cass is at 2-2 in Region 1 and 6-4 overall. Region 1 with 2 teams in the top 5 in the latest Division A girls volleyball poll, and then 1 team receiving votes with Northern Cass. So Region 1 looking strong this year once again in Region 1 girls volleyball. And then out of Region 2, your top 4 teams, the Carrington Cardinals, currently 2-0 in Region 2 play. They're 5-1 overall. Number 2, Mayport CG, they're 1-0 in Region 2 play, 7-3 overall. Grafton High School 1-0 in Region play. They're 6-6 overall, and your number 4 team right now is Thompson High School, sitting at 3-1, and they are 12-1 overall. Thompson, the number 1 ranked team in the state in Division A volleyball. And then out of Region 3, your top 4 teams, South Prairie Max, the number 2 team in the state, currently at 2-0 in Region 3. They're 5-1 overall. Stanley High School at 2-0. They're 12-6 overall. Deslax Burlington is 1-0. They're 5-1 overall. And then Turtle Mountain Community High School sitting at 1-0 in Region 3 play. They're 2-1 overall. And you're out of Region 4, your top 4 teams, Dickinson Trinity High School is 5-0 in Region 4 play. They're 12-1 overall. Shiloh Christian High School is 4-0 in Region 4. They're 10-5 overall. Hazen High School 2-2 in Region 4 play. They're 6-1 overall. And then Watford City, the 4th place team right now out of Region 4. They're currently 1-3 in Region 4 play, and they're 1-7 overall. And just trying to find Dickinson Trinity, the only team out of Region 4 receiving any recognition in the latest Division A girls volleyball poll. Dickinson Trinity receiving votes in this latest poll with that 11-3, or excuse me, with that 12-1 overall record, 5-0 in Region 4 play. So we will step away here for 30 seconds as we're going to have our starting lineups and then our national anthem. That's just ahead on yourliveevent.com.
Data shows that half of the pills seized off the street by law enforcement contain a lethal dose of fentanyl. You never know when you might find yourself in the middle of an emergency. Why not be the reason a life can be saved? Narcan provides a safe and easy way to reverse the effects of an opioid in just minutes. You can pick up your Narcan today for free at your local public health office.
This message is brought to you by your local public health unit.
Hey, welcome back. Glad you're with us for this girls volleyball contest. North Dakota High School girls volleyball between the Sargent County Bulldogs and the Lisbon Broncos. The Broncos defending their home court against the Bulldogs in their homecoming week. Forgot to mention that it is Broncos homecoming week, so this is a home volleyball match here for the Broncos defending their home court against the Sargent County Bulldogs. Good rivalry, good matchup to have during homecoming for the Broncos. And looking forward to tomorrow night, the Broncos with their homecoming football game. They also have the Hall of Fame inductions and then a Hall of Fame inductions and then the band performance at halftime. And we will step away for the national anthem.
In Hope, North Dakota, we aren't just a town, we're a community, one that you can be proud of, where you and your family can grow. With available jobs, affordable housing, a golf course and pool, the Sportsman Club, and great educational opportunities. There hasn't been a better time to join the Hope community, ideally located between Fargo, Grand Forks, and Jamestown. For more information, go to www.hopend.com. Live, work, and play in Hope, North Dakota.
The Sargent Central Dollars for Scholars chapter is a nonprofit foundation that supports academic success in the community. The mission is to mobilize the community on behalf of post-secondary education success for the students. Dollars for Scholars chapters help hometown students achieve their educational goals by raising scholarship funds, establishing endowments, and more. For more information, scan the QR code on screen or stop by the Sargent Central School District. This game is brought to you in part by Kyle and Kathy Marquette and Brandon and Brianna Hansen family.
At Enbridge, we're focused on relationships. 23 Canadian First Nation and Métis communities now own an equity stake in Enbridge Athabasca Pipelines. In Minnesota, Enbridge has spent $450 million and counting with Native-owned companies and in wages to tribal members working on Line 3. Every day brings new collaborations, partnerships, and possibilities. Learn more at Enbridge.com.
All right, welcome back here at Lisbon High School as we are now into our starting lineups. Just finished up with that national anthem. Snuck up on me there a little bit, but just to reiterate, the homecoming football game tomorrow night, they will have the Hall of Fame induction ceremony and then also a band performance at halftime as the Lisbon Broncos will take on the number 5 rated allegedly called Thunder. Game starts at 7 o'clock. And we will get into our starting lineups. Starting off with the Sargent County Bulldogs. Starting a defensive specialist, a junior, number 9, Dakota Stroll. Then we have 5'2" senior libero position, number 10, Charlize Wilprecht. 5'8" freshman, number 13, outside hitter, Allison Yeagal. We have a 5'10" junior, number 18, outside hitter, Mackenzie Nagowski. 5'10" senior, number 22, middle hitter, Carly Kadoon. 5'6" sophomore, number 26, right side hitter, Lucy Mayer. 5'6" sophomore, number 27, setter, Mallory Bogart. And then 6'3" junior, number 40, middle hitter, Ngong Deng. And the Bulldogs are coached by Jenna Anderson, assisted by Elena Beck and Christina Bertram. And for the home team, the Lisbon Broncos, defending their home court during this homecoming week, we have starting a freshman, right side hitter, number 2, Mara Nelsa. Junior, 5'6" junior, number 3, setter, Bryn Wilsey. 5'7" senior, number 4, outside hitter, Riot Workman. 5'8" senior, number 7, middle hitter, Emerson Schwab. 5'1" senior, number 8, defensive specialist, Aubrey Opp. 5'8" junior, number 10, middle hitter, Cameron Hoff. And then your libero position is a 5'6" junior, number 20, Brindley Differding. Those are the starting lineups. I think the Broncos with 7. I'm pretty sure the Bulldogs had 8 down in there for their starting lineup, 7 or 8 on their starting line. I'm going with 8, and they can't fit 8 high school girls on a volleyball court, so I'm not sure why they do that, but we just announced 8 starters for the Bulldogs. So here we go. Inside the Lisbon High School Gymnasium, as opening serve just moments away. So the Broncos front line, looks like we got Hoff, Wertman, and Romerman out there. Or excuse me, that's Nelson. So Hoff, Wertman, and Nelson in the front line, and then the backcourt is Schwab, Opp, and Wertman. Okay, so Wertman now goes to the back line. Wilsey in the middle. So we have Hoff, Wilsey, and Nelson. And now we have Differding in. Differding, Wertman, and Opp. And for the Bulldogs, it looks like they got Yeagal, Dang, and Mayer. And that's a serve by the Bulldogs. That was by Stroll. That was Nelson, puts it over. Here's set to the front line. Yeagal gets it over. The attack by Wortman. Scoops it over the net, back to the front line. Yeagal pushes it over to Differding. Differding to Wilsey, to Hoff. Blocked by Ding. Good dive by Differding, keeps it alive. Nelson with the attack. That's dug out by the Bulldogs in the point for Sargent County with the kill. Maybe it was Bogart. And already a sub in for Sargent County. Sargent County looks like Wangler. 5'4" junior. Excuse me, that point went to the Broncos, so they must have called her in the net. So the Broncos are up 1-0. And the point going to the Broncos. Excuse me, that's going to the Bulldogs, so we're tied up at 1 apiece. So we're all tied up 1 apiece. Our scoreboard not keeping up to date, but we'll try to keep you a 3-1 lead for the Broncos. That's serve by Erdman. That was the attack by Cadoon. Look like Mouse is in there on the far side for the Broncos. Going to the front line, Bogart. And the kill going to Cadoon. So Cadoon with the kill. Served by the Bulldogs. Schwab digs, or excuse me, that was Hoff that dug it out. Differding sends it over. Back to the front line to Cadoon. Pushes over to Differding for the Broncos. Wilsey slaps it over. Back to the front line for the Bulldogs. Adair sets it to Wilsey with the attack, and it goes long, and it's now tied up at 3. So tied up at 3 inside the Lisbon High School Gymnasium between the Bulldogs and the Broncos. See if this helps. That's Cadoon with the kill. So Bulldogs continue to serve. That looks like Mayer with the serve. Whitney Mayer wearing the number 1 jersey, if I have that right. And now the Bulldogs grab the 2-point lead, 5-3. Looks like the score is finally catching up here. And now 6-3 in favor of the Bulldogs. We are in our first set. 6-3 is your score. And that's Wilsey with the attack. Dug out by the Bulldogs. That was Wangler. Here's Differding with the dig to the front line. Wilsey sends it over, and that's wide. Wide shot by Wilsey. Now 7-3 in favor of the Bulldogs. And serve again by Mayer. And that's a big attack by Hoff. And she goes up here on the near side, and Hoff with the kill. Broncos needed to break the serve to come up with the kill from Hoff. Now 7-4. Here's the serve by the Broncos. Set to the front line, pushed it over. That was Yeagal, and then Wilsey with the attack for the Broncos. That's dug out by Bogart, sent over the net by the Bulldogs. Mouse sends it over for the Broncos. To the front line. Back to Yago. Now the Broncos. Schwab with the fingertip touch over the net. And that's out by Kadoon. And the Broncos with the point now, 7-5. So our score is 7-5 in favor of the Bulldogs. Now we have the right score up there. And it is the first set, 8-5. Point goes to the Bulldogs. As we should. Looks like we're squared away now with our score. And served by the Bulldogs. That was Yagal. Here's Schwab with the attack and not able to get the one-handed dig as Yagal. So Schwab with the kill. So 8-6. Bulldogs with the lead. Serve here by Wilsey. Wilsey with the jump serve, sends it long. Wilsey just a little off, starting things out in this first set. Send a couple shots wide. Now our serve is long. Missing the mark. 9-6 in favor of the Bulldogs. And that's the serve is long by Kadoon. So Kadoon sends her serve long. 9-7, 2-point lead for the Bulldogs. Here's Opp for the Broncos with the serve, and that's long, straight down the line. And a point for the Bulldogs, now 10-7. Teams off the mark with their serve right now. Just kind of trading points back and forth. That's Bogart. Set by Wilsey, front line. Workman goes up. That was Yagal. Deng sends it over for the Bulldogs. Wilsey to the front line. Schwab and Deng with the block, and then Workman sends it over with the attack. Back to Deng at the front line of the Bulldogs. Dug out by Opp. Workman up. Deng goes back up, sends it over. In the attack by Nelson for the Broncos. And that was a hit from Kadoon to Nagowski. Nagowski sent it wide over the net. And a point for the Broncos. 2-point lead. Schwab out for the Lisbon. Differding into serve. Differding with the jump serve sends it to Kadoon. Kadoon sends it wide. Now she bumps it over the net to Aubrey Opp for the Broncos. Front line, Wortman. Deng goes up. Swats it back. Sent over by Kadoon for the Bulldogs. Workman goes up with the attack for the Broncos. Finds the far side corner. Out of the reach of Wilprecht. Give her the kill on that. As the Broncos are down by one, Differding to serve again. Sends the ball over the net. It's dug out by Mayer, and that sends it long. And a point for the Broncos. Now tied up at 10, Differding to serve. Broncos trying to put another W and improve their overall record. Right now sitting at 3-9. Kadoon goes up. Slaps it over to Aubrey Opp, opposite side, and Wortman with the attack, and it's long, trying to get the fingertips. And she gets the call from the official. So our officials this evening, we have Sydney Anderson and Tracy Lean at the net, and then our line judges are Sandy Hoff and Benjamin Zarbach. Here's Differding with another serve. And a point for the Broncos. Off the shot by Nelson. And the Broncos grab the 2-point lead up 12-10. As the Broncos settle down with Differding to serve. The Bulldogs trying to break it, and they will with the serve in the net by Differding. Now the 1-point lead for Lisbon. And some subs in and out for the Bulldogs. So Nagowski looks like she's out along with Wilprecht. And that's dug out by Nelson. Wilsey sends it over right to Kadoon. Here's going to Deng. Deng on the attack. Dug out by Differding. Front line. Hoff goes up, sends it to the corner, and that's off the hands. And Hoff with the point for the Broncos. Broncos with the 2-point lead, up 13-11. So the Broncos now up 13-11. This is the first set of the match. Adair to serve for the Broncos. The sophomore with the serve, and that's the point for the Broncos. The Broncos now with the 3-point lead, their biggest lead of this match and the set. There's Deng, sends it over off the palm, or off the kind of the heel of her hand. The ball ends up taking a nosedive to the floor, and we have a timeout here by the Sargent County Bulldogs with the Broncos. 4-point lead, up 15-11. We'll step away and have a word from our sponsors.
In times like these, it's good to know there's a place where people know who you are, no matter how long you've been gone. A place where the smells of home cooking are still in the air, where a simple wave warms your heart, and sharing stories is just a way of life. It's good to be home. Farmers Union Insurance, protecting what's important in life.
Get in touch with David Bergerman today at 701-724-6252.
All right, welcome back. The Broncos have built a 4-point lead, up now 15-11. Brinley Differding with the hot serve for the Broncos. And then Adair came up with an ace. The Broncos right now up 15-11. Lisbon have Nelson with a kill, Wilsey with 2 kills, Wortman and Schwab each with a kill, and Hoff with 2 kills. Adair with an ace. Adair continues to serve for the Broncos. And the serve goes to Kadoon to the front line. There's Ding's going to go up. Nope. And they tried a little trickery in the front line. Deng looked like she was going to go up, and Yagal just mishit it. 5-point lead. Adair continues to serve. Adair with the serve goes to Kadoon, center of the court. Front line, Deng's going to go up, blocked by Hoff. So Hoff with the block. Adair continues to serve. Kadoon sends the ball to the front line. Goes to the net. The Broncos with another putback. Give the block again to Hoff. Now with the 7-point lead, the Broncos, common opponent with the Sargent County Bulldogs was Enderlin. Enderlin defeated the Broncos 3-1. The Bulldogs defeated the Eagles 3-1. Right now the Broncos have the upper hand, 18-11 in this opening set with the Bulldogs. Homecoming week for the Broncos. As I'm sure Coach Amy Lyons, glad to see your team performing with all the distractions of homecoming week. They're out here scoring some points and have the 6-point lead. There's Wilsey, goes up with the attack. That's blocked, put back by the Bulldogs. Here's Opp with the attack, sends it to the far corner. The 5'1" senior gets up, and that's Kadoon with the attack and the kill. Now 18-13, back to the 5-point lead for the Broncos. There's a serve by Wilprecht in the ace. Wilprecht to serve again. 4-point lead now for Lisbon. 18-14 up on the Bake North scoreboard. Back to the front line. Adair sets for Wilsey, taps it over. This is dug out by the Bulldogs. Hoff sends it over, back line. And that's put over the net by Wangler again. The attack by Wortman goes up. Big slam. Dug out by the Bulldogs. Here's Kadoon. That was Yagal. Now Kadoon goes up with some authority. Trying to make a statement. Get her team fired up now. 18-15 off the kill by Kadoon. With 4 kills for the Bulldogs. Have Bogart with 1 and Wilprecht with an ace. And I know I missed a couple there that opening few points, trying to fix the scoreboard and get that thing back up and running. And the Broncos now with the 4-point lead, 19-15. As the serve is long by Wilprecht. Erdman comes in to serve. So Erdman to serve for the Broncos. Puts the ball over the net. Put up in the air by Bogart. Then hit over by Yeagal. Back to the front line. Wilsey near side with the attack and the kill. Went off of Bogart. Give Wilsey 3 kills in this first set. She leads the Bronco. Cadoon leads all players with 4 kills in the first set. Now a 5-point lead for Lisbon. And that served by Erdman goes out. And a point for the Bulldogs. Back to the 4-point lead for Lisbon, 20-16. Looks like Caitlin Wangler again with the serve. Blocked and in the net. And the 3-point lead off the block by Cadoon. Wangler with the serve, dug out by the Broncos. That was Quall. There with the nice dig for the Bulldogs. Got it over the net. Hoff goes up on the attack. Cadoon double hits it off the block. Back to Cadoon with the kill. And just long, just missed the line. It was just long for Cadoon. And the point to the Broncos. Now up 21-17, 4 points away from taking the opening set against the Bulldogs. Hoff with the jump serve sends it to Wilprecht. To Cadoon. Dug out by Quall. Back to Wilsey front line. Schwab's over there. Adair hits it up in the air. That's dug out. Cadoon's going to set it to Yeagal. And the attack by Mouse in the front line. Back to Yeagal for the Bulldogs. Sends it to Schwab. Or excuse me, that was Hoff. Went off of Hoff. Wasn't able to get any forward movement on it. Quall tried to save it. And the point to the Bulldogs now down by 3, 21-18. As we've had one timeout called by the Sargent County Bulldogs. They're down by 3 points, 21-18 to the Broncos. The serve by Yeagal. Ooh, and off of Mouse. Looked like she went down with the dig and just went off her right hand. Wasn't able to get both hands underneath it. Yeagal with the serve. Goes to Quall for the Broncos. Adair sets it to Wilsey near side with the attack. Back over to Bogart. And Cadoon up in the net. And all kinds of movement, but she gets the point and the kill for Cadoon. And the Broncos with the timeout. Cadoon has 6 kills in this set and a block. And the Bulldogs pull within 1 here on your Bank North scoreboard. It's 21-20 in favor of the Broncos.
When you choose Farmers Union Insurance, you're backed by an insurance policy provider that meets your specific requirements. At Farmers Union Insurance Gullus & Olson Agency, they offer reliable insurance policies from homeowners, farm and ranch, contractors, small businesses, and more. Let Lance, Shelby, and the staff at Gullus & Olson Agency take care of you today. For more information, stop into their office on Main Street in Lisbon for Farmers Union Insurance Gullus & Olson Agency.
The Bison Booster Club, an organization that is rooted in their support of the activities within the Milner Public School District.
All right, welcome back here, liveevent.com. Got into that second commercial, but we're back here live now. Broncos with the 1-point lead. And the Bulldogs to serve. So Yeagal with the serve. Broncos dig it out. Wilsey with the attack and blocked. As the Bulldogs were waiting and with the block from Cadoon and Nagowski. Yeagal serves to Differding. We're tied up at 21. Wilsey sends it over to Wilprecht. Back to Bogart. The attack by the Bulldogs. Broncos able to handle it, dig it. Over to Wilsey in the block. And the goal falls on the Bulldog side. The point for the Broncos for Wilsey with 4 kills. Broncos now lead by a score of 22-21. Wilsey to serve. Let's see if she can keep things rolling for Lisbon. The serve, and it's long, and the Broncos having a tough time with their serves. Probably the 3rd or 4th one that's gone long in this set. We're tied up at 22. Cadoon serves, sends it to Differding. Front line, we'll see. Looks like Nelson went up with the attack, and that was just off of Cadoon. She was all the way to the back line. Went cross court from the far side to the near side. And the point goes to the Broncos. Just wasn't able to get her body in position to get that ball returned back over the net. And the Broncos with the 1 point lead. Up to serve. Goes to Wangler. And Deng in the front line. Taps it over. Differding. And Workman. Double-handed. Pushes the ball over. Back to the front line. The attack and the block there by Schwab and Nelson. Schwab and Nelson with the big point for the Broncos. 1 point away now, Lisbon from the first set victory. Dug out by Wilprecht. Bogart. And Bulldogs push it over the net. Wertman with the attack by the Broncos. Cadoon teams up with Bogart. They push it over the net. Wilsey sets it back to Nelson. Cross-court shot. One more hit for the Bulldogs. Wilprecht gets it over. Good rally point going here. Wertman with the attack. Cross-court. And the call goes the other way here for the Bulldogs, and they pick up the point off the attack on the far side over there with Wertman. 24-23, the Broncos 1 point away from taking this set. Wilsey sets it to Schwab, finds the line, and it's in. And the far line judge, opposite corner, says no, it was out. Looked in from here, but the line judge calls it out. We're tied up at 24. And served by Bogart. Goes to Wilsey, sets it over to Wertman, taps it over, having a little trouble. On the return was Nagowski, and the point for the Broncos. Now up by 1, 25-24. You have to win by 2 with the 1 point lead. Differding to serve. And Deng and the Sargent County Bulldogs come up with another point. We're tied up at 25. Wilprecht out. Jago comes in. Nagowski also on the bench for the Bulldogs. And the serve by Stroll. Here's Wertman to the, she just sends it over to the front line, catching the Broncos a little flat-footed, and now taking the lead are the Bulldogs in the first set. The Broncos kind of caught looking around a little flat-footed on that point. And we do have a timeout, so the Broncos down by 1 with the timeout inside your Lisbon High School Gymnasium on the Bank North scoreboard. Sargent County now with the lead, 26-25.
They pride themselves on their community involvement in local donations to area projects and sponsorships to help make their community a pleasant place to reside. If you have any questions or are interested in becoming a Booster Club member, you can check out the Bison Booster Club on Facebook or talk with any of the existing members. The Bison Booster Club, helping make their community a better place to live.
All right, welcome back. Lisbon High School Gymnasium, as now the Sargent County Bulldogs have rallied, and they have the lead, 1 point lead, 26-25 over the Lisbon Broncos here in the first set. As teams are still battling, trying to take this first set victory, just going back to that big kill by Cadoon. The Bulldogs are down by 4, and Cadoon comes up with a big play, big kill. Fired up the Bulldogs, and they're able to grab the lead. That was a good dig by Wertman on the far side, and a block by Deng, and the Bulldogs with the first set victory, 27-25 over the Lisbon Broncos. And that'll do it in our first set. Sargent County Bulldogs take this one 25-27 over Lisbon. They grab the 1-0 set lead in this North Dakota High School girls volleyball match. We have Division A versus Division B this evening. We're going to step away, come back for that Olson Accounting recap in 30 seconds.
Hey Lisbon, it's time to rally behind our favorite team. The Lisbon Bronco Athletic Boosters are sending all our best wishes to the Broncos as they hit the court and field this season. The Lisbon Bronco Athletic Boosters are proud to support our teams and community. Let's show our Broncos that we're with them every step of the way. Go Broncos! Your dedication and spirit makes us all proud. From all of us at the Lisbon Bronco Athletic Boosters, we're cheering for you.
The Lisbon Public School District ensures that all students will learn, experience success, and be good students from elementary through high school. The school staff and community takes great pride in providing meaningful, innovative opportunities for students who continue to maintain ACT scores above state and national averages. Watch your kids continue to grow within the Lisbon Public School District, from the playing surface to the classroom. For more information, go online to lisbon.k12.nd.us.
All right, welcome back here at liveevent.com. We're here with our Olson Accounting recap. If you need help with your monthly accounting and payroll, let Cindy and her staff give you a hand. Rely on the friendly team of professionals at Olson Accounting for your tax and accounting needs. Go to colsoncpa.com. This is your Olson Accounting set recap as your Sargent County Bulldogs take this first one over the Lisbon Broncos by a score of 25-27. Now lead this by a score of 1-0 here for the Bulldogs. And looking at the individual stats for the Lisbon Broncos, as Bryn Wilsey led the Broncos with 4 kills in that first set. Wertman with 2 kills for Wertman. Emerson Schwab with 2 kills and a block. Hoff with 2 kills and 2 blocks, and Adair with an ace for Lisbon. And for the Sargent County Bulldogs was Kadoon with 5 kills and a block. Wilprecht with an ace, Bogart with a kill, and Nagowski with a block. And like I said, I missed a few of those at the beginning. 3 or 4 points. Just trying to get our scoreboard squared away. But those are your unofficial stats here with our Olson Accounting recap. As the Sargent County Bulldogs win now by a score of 25-27 in the first set. Little controversial point. Broncos are up 24-23, and it was a nice shot down that far side line. Looked like it was in from the top up here, but the far corner line judge on the opposite side, on the far side, called the ball out, and that tied up our score. And Sargent County eventually, with the 2-point win in the set victory, 27-25 over the Lisbon Broncos. As the Broncos look to rebound. Good competitive set back and forth battle between the two teams. And Lisbon to start things out serving. And here's Dang with the dig over the net. Opp, nobody home over here in the near corner. On the backside, Opp had to hustle over from the far side. Wasn't able to hit the one-handed dig. And a point to the Sargent County Bulldogs. And the front line for the Broncos looks like Wertman, Adair, and Wilsey for Lisbon. There's Adair, sets it to Wilsey, and Dang up with the block. Hits it back, and the Broncos not able to push the ball forward over the net and give up another point, now 2-0. As they're having a tough time getting it over the outstretched arms of Angon Deng, the 6'3" middle blocker, middle hitter. And that's a good set by Wertman. Good play by Hoff and Wertman. Wertman with a big attack, just not able to get the point. Here's Wilsey goes up, sends it long. Now the Broncos down 3-0. And one of the better executed plays I've seen out of the Broncos over there with Hoff and Wertman. Just not able to get it to set down and get the point. Here's the Bulldogs. Deng goes up with the attack and sets it straight down the middle and the point. And the kill for Deng. Scored that as their first one. Now the Bulldogs up 4-0. The Broncos on their heels coming off of that first set loss. And that's to Differding. And Differding sends the shot kind of flat. And the Broncos not able to handle the serve. So the ace going over there to Wangler. And Deng not able to get underneath it in that front line middle hitter position. And the point to the Broncos, finally break the serve. And that's Erdman to serve, dug out by the Bulldogs. And the point going to the Lisbon Broncos, and Erdman with that serve. Erdman second serve. Broncos down by 3 in the second set. Cadoon digs it out. Bogart hustles over, gets the ball into a teammate who sends it over the net. Near side, Wilsey with the attack. Cadoon digs it out, then goes up with the attack, and now she's on in that middle hitter front line position. As she sent 2 missiles just inside the back line of the Broncos for her second kill of the set and the match. That's served by Wilprecht. Wilsey goes up, Wilprecht digs it out. Bogart and Yago team up, send the ball over. Here's Hoff with the shot over the net. Wilprecht with the dig, and nobody home here on the near side. Yago not able to get back to it. The Broncos down by 3, trying to regroup. They were down 5-0 early in this second set. Now 6-3. Differding with the serve, gets this one down. And Cadoon with the nice one-handed save. Sends the ball, the Bulldogs do over the net. Here's Adair, front line, Schwab taps it over. Dug out by Bogart. And Mouse is gonna set it. Cadoon goes up. This one falls, ooh, good dig by Schwab. But Adair just misses it. Schwab with a good heads-up play, one-handed dig, got it over the net. But Cadoon able to send it over for the kill. For Sargent County. And there's Mayer with the serve. Schwab goes up with the attack, sends it back. Wilprick digs it out. Mayer with the big dig. Gets it over the net. Differding. Front line dives. Cadoon's going to go up, blocked by the Broncos. That was Schwab and Wilsey. Differding. Nice ball, or nice rally going here. Wilsey sends it over. Ball still in play. Schwab. Schwab with the attack and the kill. That was a set from Wilsey. Wilsey sets it to Schwab. Schwab goes up with the attack and the kill. It's her first one of this set, now with 3 kills and a block for Lisbon. Broncos down by 3, 7-4. Dug out by Wilprecht. There's Yagal. Cadoon got the fingertip. And the Broncos, nobody home. And just a good play there as Cadoon with the block. Teamed up with Yago on that front line. They were able to get the ball over the net and the point. Broncos down by 4. 8-4 on the Bank North scoreboard. Served by Yagal, goes to the back line. Qual to Differding. Wilsey's going to send it over into the net and the point. 9-4, 5-point lead. Biggest lead right now, 9-4. That 5-point lead is the biggest lead for the Bulldogs in this set. Served by Yago, Differding front line to Wilsey, goes to Nelson far side, and then the point on the attack and the kill for Nelson. So now a 4-point lead. Opt to serve. Opt for Lisbon, the 5'1" defensive specialist with the serve. Cadoon goes up at the attack, dug out by Wilsey. And Cadoon mistimes it. Off the dig by Wilsey, sent it up to just about the rafters. Kind of a hard one to time up, but Cadoon was going to go up big time if she would have got a hold of that one. And missed it, luckily for the Broncos, because I wouldn't have wanted to be in front of that one. And the Broncos dug out by Wilsey after the serve by Opp. Schwab goes up on the attack. That's dug out by Yagal. Front line, near side. That's Nagolski put it over. Set to the front line. Schwab taps it over. Dug out. Cadoon sends it to Opp on the Broncos back line. Wertman goes up. Off the fingertips. Set over here to Yagal for the Bulldogs. Back to the Broncos. Wertman with the attack sends it back to the back line. And into the net, Cadoon tried the slam dunk, but drives it right into the net. Now the 2-point lead for the Bulldogs. Broncos trying to hang around. Opt to serve again. Opp with the serve, sends it to Wilprecht, digs it out front line, going over to Nagowski, hits it in the net. And the point for the Broncos within one. As now we're back and forth between the Bulldogs and the Broncos. The Broncos on a run, and Cadoon off the mark again, sends this one into the net. Now we're tied up at 9. So Opp continues to serve. Sets this one into the back line. That was Mayer, digs it out. Differding goes up. Wilprecht with the dig. And Nagowski sends it over the net for the Bulldogs here. Near side, Nelson goes up on the attack. Cadoon with the big hit, and it's long. So Cadoon is off a little bit in this set. She has she has a block and a kill in this set. She had 5 kills and 2 blocks in the first set. Here's to Nagowski, the block, and off of Schwab. She had the block and then double hit it. The ball went backwards into Opp. And we're tied up at 10. Cadoon to serve. Serve goes to Differding, dig. To Wilsey, back to Differding, slaps it over. Cadoon sets it to Nagowski. Nagowski with the attack. Far side, Wertman with the attack. Big shot by Wertman, handled by the Bulldogs. Deng with the tap over. Back to Nelson, blocked by the Bulldogs. And into the net. And the point for the Bulldogs. Now up by 1. They had a 5-point lead. The Broncos took the lead and tied it up. Now the Bulldogs here, 11-11. Up on the Bank North scoreboard, we're all tied up at 11. Schwab to serve for the Broncos. Cadoon digs it out, back to the front line. Ding goes up at the attack. This time Wilsey handles it to Wertman, back to the front line. Hoff sends it over. Front line to the Bulldogs. Near side, Nagowski sends it over for Sargent County. Wertman's going to go up against Ding. Off her hand and goes out for a point. Going over to the Broncos. So give Wertman a kill. Have her down for 3. Unofficially, this is Schwab to serve again for Lisbon. That's handled by Wangler. And then now Wertman with another attack, sends it long. We're tied up. Bogart to serve for Sargent County. Serves about middle of the court on the backside. Wertman goes up off the fingertips of Deng. Deng's going to come back and with the attack and the kill. Now with 3 kills in this set, pushes the Bulldogs ahead 13-12. Bogart second serve. This goes to Wertman to the front line. Wilsey over to Hoff, taps it over. Cadoon takes it. Deng's going to go up with the attack, handled by Opp. Front line, Wertman's going to go up and blocked and put back by Deng in Mayer on the far side. Two-point lead for the Bulldogs. They've had as much as 5 in this set. And another block. Here, Hoff just not able to get up and get her hands on it. So Deng with another block and a timeout by the Broncos. You're up on the Bank North scoreboard. Sargent County now with the 3-point lead. As we will step away for a 30-second timeout.
While medicine's greatest advancements look like the latest sci-fi, one of our most powerful tools is far more simple. We're human. It's a calling to connect with purpose. That's how we're evolving healthcare, by treating people, not just patients, with innovations that amplify healing and lead to more personalized care. Guided by the belief we all hold the power to heal.
Welcome back here, 11event.com. As the Lisbon Broncos with the timeout, they're down by 3 in their second set. Sargent County won the first set 25-27. Right now have the 1-set lead in this match against the Broncos. The Broncos with that record of 3-9 overall. The Bulldogs are 4-3 overall. Different class of volleyball. The Broncos in Division A, Bulldogs in Division B. That's Adair, goes up with the attack to the front line, sets it to Ding for the Bulldogs. Differding with the dig over to Adair, and Adair with the point. Not much of the attack. She gets one for the Broncos. Yes, that's what they needed coming out of that timeout. So give Adair the kill. And the serve. Sends it to Wilprecht, to Kadoon, back over here to Mayer. And that would have been 4 hits. And the point for the Broncos. So Broncos and Coach Lyons after the timeout with 2 points back-to-back. Here's Adair to serve. Broncos now down by 1. Adair serves. Looks like she almost got foot stuck on the floor, but was able to get the serve over. Deng comes up with the kill for the Bulldogs. So Deng coming alive, picking up where Kadoon left off in the first set. Deng now with 4 kills and 2 blocks. Kadoon in the first set had 2 blocks and 5 kills. For Sargent County, Hoff sends it over and just wide. She's looking for that line here on the near side. In the Sargent County side of the court. And just pushed it wide. Back to the 3-point lead for the Bulldogs. Like Stroll with the serve for Sargent County. Kadoon with the dig after the return by the Broncos. Yeagal sends it over. Front line here to Adair. Over to Wertman. On the attack, sends it to Kadoon near side. Yeagal on the block, and it goes out. And the point for the Bulldogs. Yeagal the kill on that. And Stroll with the serve. Back to Wilsey. Broncos push it over the net. Yeagal sends it over for the Bulldogs. Adair, oh. I think Adair kind of brought the ball, pushed the ball back to the Broncos side instead of tapping it over. Their teammates not, look if they're too happy about that. Now back to the 5-point lead. Biggest lead of this match here for the Bulldogs. Now up 19-14, and now take the 6-point lead. Now their biggest lead here at 6, 20-14. And the Broncos with the timeout. As Sargent County on the Bank North scoreboard grabs the 6-point lead over to Lisbon Broncos in our second set, as we will step away for another 30-second timeout.
A way of life here in the Northland. It's about pitching in to help our neighbors, making lending decisions locally, honoring long-term commitments to farmers, Main Street businesses, teams, schools, and rural communities. We're more than just a bank. We're a community partner, working constantly and diligently to enrich the lives of everyone we serve. Bank North, always true.
All right, welcome back here, 11event.com. Sargent County leads in the second set by 6 over to the Broncos. As Ngon Deng has picked up where Kadoon left off in the first set, now with 4 kills and 2 blocks in the second set. Served by Stroll. Stroll had the ace before the timeout by the Broncos. Kadoon to Deng in the front line. Dug out by Opp for the Broncos. Back to the front line. Wertman with the attack, pushes it over. Stroll. Back to the Broncos side. Adair sets it to Wilsey. Back to Stroll. And Yeagal going up with it. Deng's going to send it back here. Kadoon pushes it over. Opp digs it out. Front line, Adair to Hoff with the shot. Back to the front line. Pushed it over to Deng of Sargent County. Differding sends the ball in the air, but point to the Bulldogs. It was a good rally there, but the Broncos come up on the short end once again, 21-14 in favor of the Bulldogs. Now by 7, and that point the Broncos needed. As Stroll sends it into the net. Broncos down by 6. Erdman in to serve. Erdman with the serve goes to Kadoon, back to the front line, opposite side. It was hit over by Mayer. Here's Kadoon, middle of the court, pushes it over. Adair for the Broncos, now differing here to Mouse. Mouse with the attack. Dug out by the Bulldogs. The Egal, far side, long and out. And the Broncos with the point off the serve here with Erdman, second serve. For Erdman this time around, just gets it over the net. Dug out, good dig by Yegal. And Kadoon trying to get it. Not enough height on it to give her teammates time to get that ball back up in the air and over the net. Erdman with the second serve, another point now, or third serve. Broncos down by 4. Erdman gets it into the net and a point for the Bulldogs. 22-17, up by 5 for Sargent County. As Deng is now out. And to see we have front line is Kadoon, Yegal, and Mayer for the Bulldogs with another point now, 23-17. 6-point lead. They're 2 points away from taking their second set victory. Dug out by Qual for the Broncos. Put over the net by Adair. Front line, Kadoon's gonna go up and just mistimed her jump. Having a tough time here. Not finding her attack shot. Broncos with the point. Differding to serve. Jump serve goes to the back line. Dug out by Wilprecht for Sargent County. Front line, Yegal pushes it over to Differding for Lisbon. Adair to Schwab with the attack. Gets it to the net. Off the dig. That was dug out by Wangler. But the point goes for the Broncos. Down by 4. Differding to serve again. Sends the ball to Bogart. And the attack by Kadoon. And she sets another one down. This time she's on the mark for the kill. It's her second one of this set. Now with 7 in the match and 2 blocks. Serve and 1 point away for this set victory. And that one drops for for Whitney Mayer on the ace in the point. She had 2 aces in that set. Hoping lead her team to the 25-17 victory over the Lisbon Broncos, as we will step away for another 30-second timeout on yourliveevent.com.
That agriculture is your livelihood, and we're committed to providing you with the highest quality of services to meet your farming needs. Milner Grain has a passion for our community and the farmers we serve. Milner Grain is locally owned and operated. When you're looking for a partner in the field, look to Milner Grain. Call 701-427-5284 or check out Milner Grain's app with current up-to-date prices. Milner Grain is here to help you and your farm grow.
The Milner Public School District has a long history of academic, artistic, and athletic achievement and is proud of the programs and education environment offered. A fully accredited educational system, Milner Public School District operates 2 separate school buildings, including Sundale Colony School. Over 85%, that's right, 85% of the graduates of Milner High School attend some form of post-secondary educational institution. You can find more information on the Milner Public School District online at milner.k12.nd.us.
All right, welcome back here with your Olson Accounting set recap. As Sargent County wins this second set by a score of 25-17. They won the first set by a score of 25-27. Now with the 2-0 lead in this match over the Lisbon Broncos in that set for Lisbon. As their big hitters were kind of quiet. I had Schwab with 1 kill for the Broncos and Nelson with a kill for Lisbon, and Adair for a kill for Lisbon. Opp with an ace for those individual stats. So Adair with a kill, Opp with an ace, Schwab with a kill, Wertman with 1 kill in that set, along with Wilsey and Nelson. And then for Sargent County, it was Angon Deng, the junior middle hitter, standing at 6'3". She came alive and had 4 kills and 2 blocks for Sargent County. And then Carly Cadoon, the senior, 5'10" middle blocker, middle hitter. She had 2 kills and a block. And she now has 7 kills and 3 blocks in this match with the Broncos. Also had Stroh with an ace, Wangler with 2 aces, and Yeagow with a kill in that set for Sargent County. So Sargent County now with a 2-0 lead over the Lisbon Broncos. They won that first set 25-27 and then 25-17 the second set. As that is your Olson Accounting set recap. And we're back for our third set. The Lisbon Broncos have dug themselves a little bit of a hole, down 2-0 out here to the Sargent County Bulldogs out of Division B, District 1. You have those Region 1, District 1 standings right now. Richland High School in those latest Division B rankings, they're currently at 10-0 overall out of Region 1 District 1. Hankinson's sitting at 7-2 overall. Sargent County's at 4-3 in third. Wyndmere Lidgewood is 7-6 in fourth. Maple River 4-9 overall in fifth. And sixth is the Oaks High School Tornadoes at 4-8. Tri-State is at 0-9. Barnes County North is 0-11, and Enderlin High School is 5-11. And that first serve goes for the point for the Broncos. So served by the Bulldogs goes into the net. And here's Adair to serve for Lisbon, leading things off in this third set. The Broncos up early 1-0. There's Yeagow with the attack, sends it to Wilsey. And Adair comes to the front line, gets tied up or tangled up with Wilsey. Now off the attack, able to dig it out. Differding goes up with the attack. Hoff sends it back, dug out by the Bulldogs. And Wilsey with the big shot, but sends it wide. And the point now for Sargent County. We're tied up at 1 apiece. Tied up at 1. Wilprecht serves, sends it to the back line there. Differding. Nobody home in the front line for the Broncos. And the point going to Wilprecht. And the Sargent County Bulldogs now up 2-1. There's Wertman, sends it over. Wilprecht digs it out. Pushed over the net by Bogart. Opposite side, there's Wertman. Near side, hit over by Yeagow for Sargent County. Back to Adair. Hoff with the big attack off of Wilprecht. Sends it back over to Yeagow into the net. Point for the Broncos, and are tied up. And we have subs in and out. So Erdman in to serve. Wertman and Opp take a seat. Mouse over on the far side in for the Broncos. Tied up at 2. Erdman with the serve. Sends us to the back line. And Cadoon with the big shot. Catches Erdman a little flat-footed. Sends it right to the free throw line on the far side. And the kill for Cadoon. She now has 8 kills and a point for the Bulldogs. Now up by 2, 4-2. And that's served by Wangler here to Adair. Wilsey goes up with the attack. It was dug out by Wangler. Excuse me, Whitney Mayer with the serve. Mayer to serve again. Second serve. This sends it to Differding. Front line, Adair over to Hoff near side. Cadoon sets it up. And the attack, and off the outstretched arms of Mouse and Hoff for the point. Going to Cadoon. So Mayer to serve, third serve. Bulldogs are up now 6-2. Handled by Differding, goes to Lind. Lind with the shot. It was handled by Wilprecht. Yagal sends it over. Here's Adair. Adair sends it over to Wilsey. That's dug out by Stroll. And the block here by Kadoon in the point. Served by, that was Mayer again. And looking for the fingertips and the point for the Broncos. So the Broncos with the point. In to serve is Hoff. Hoff with the jump serve, sends it across court. Should say middle of the court to Wilprecht. Attacked by Yagal, sends it to Adair, bumps it over. Good hustle by Quall. Back to the front line, Yagal. Adair sets it to Wilsey on the attack, cross court, and a kill for Wilsey. As Mayer not able to get over and get a hand underneath it. And Wilsey with 6 kills. 2 in this set now. The Broncos down by 3. Hoff to serve again for Lisbon. Jump serve, sends it over the net to Wangler. Here to Mayer, front line to Yagal. Yagal bumps it over. Schwab pushes it over for Lisbon. Front line, Kadoon's going to go up. Fingertip off of Lind. Bumps it in the air. Back to Lind's going to slap it over to Mayer. Or excuse me, that's Wangler. Front line Adair to Lind with the attack. One-handed dig out there by Wangler. Sends it over to Bogart. The Broncos will see front line with the attack and long off the shot by Wilsey. Broncos down by 4, sub in and out. Hoff takes a seat, Differding in. Here's Lind with the return. Two-handed there to Schwab with the attack. Bumps it up to Yagal, front line, Nagowski. Quall with the dig, sends it to the front line. Schwab's going to go up with the attack off the fingertips. Good putback by Nagowski. Good heads-up play on the front line there. And the block, good play by Schwab. Wilsey with the attack. Dug out by Wilprecht for the Bulldogs. Sends to the front line. Kadoon's going to go up. And the point and the kill for Kadoon. Bulldogs up by 5, 9-4. Have Kadoon with 4 kills in this set and a block. Making her presence known as Wilsey with the attack. Now Kadoon sets it, double hand push over the net. Adair sends it to Lind, who went on the attack right into the net in front of Kadoon. Broncos down by 6. Trying to find an answer as the serve by Yagal. And Differding with the dig sends it over into the bleachers. Now down by 7. Yagal serves again. Second serve for Yagal. Sends it long and out. Good heads up play by Quall. Just letting it go by. And the Broncos with the point. Down 11-5. Down by 6. And the serve by Wilsey. Was handled by Mayer. Pushed over by Nagowski. And the kill for Nagowski. She's been fairly quiet since the first set. Now has a block and a kill. Kadoon to serve. 7-point lead for Sargent County. Serves a bullet shot to Differding. Here's Nelson, sends it over. Front line, that's Nagowski goes up. Lind's going to go on the attack. That's dug out by Kadoon. Back to the front line. Nagowski goes up. That's off of Quall. Partial block by the Broncos. Went off of Quall, and Differding not able to get back and push the ball forward. Kadoon up to serve again. Shot going to Differding. Here's Wilsey. Nelson on the opposite side. Pushes the ball over the net. Nagowski going up again. Dug out by Wilsey. Differding. Kadoon with the hustle on the back line. Pushes the ball in the air. Ding with the attack and the kill. And a timeout here by the Broncos as they go down by 9 points, 14-5 in a third set. Here are the Sargent County Bulldogs with this 2-0 lead over the Lisbon Broncos. You're watching YourLiveEvent.com.
Business is tough, but your accounting doesn't have to be. Let Olson Accounting check all the boxes. From taxes, payroll, business services, and professionalized financial guidance, all tailored to fit your requests. Whether you're a small business owner or just need help at tax time, trust Olson Accounting for professional, reliable service every time. Visit colsoncpa.com or call 701-683-2700. Olson Accounting of Lisbon.
All right, welcome back here. YourLiveEvent.com. Sargent County with the 9-point lead up 14-5 over the Lisbon Broncos. They have the 2-0 lead. They won that first set by a score of 25-27 and 25-17 in the second set as they're in control. Up by 9 points in our third set of this match. Division A versus Division B matchup. Sargent County versus Ransom County inside the Lisbon High School Gymnasium as Kadoon with the shot and the serve sends it to Differding again. Over to Nelson for the Broncos. Off the attack, off the hands of Ding, and he goes into the bleachers. Point for the Broncos. Here's Oppen to serve. With the serve, sends it over the net. That was handled by Mayer. Puts it over the Bronco side. Workman with the attack. Cross court in with the point inside the line here in the near side. Kadoon thought about it. Decided to let it go, and then the point goes and the kill for the Broncos. And the ace now for Opp. She has two of them. Opp with the ace and sends this one into the net after an ace. She sends a serve into the net. And now the 7-point lead for the Broncos, 15-8. Bogart to serve for Sargent County here on the left side of the court. Near side to me over up here in the Stock Growers Bank broadcast booth. And that sent long by Schwab on the attack. Now an 8-point lead for Sargent County, up 16-8. Bogart to serve again. Second serve for Bogart. Sends this one to Differding. Center of the court, back line to Wertman on the attack and sends it long. Just missed the line. Another point. Sargent County up by 9, 17-8. Their lead continues to grow by Bogart with the serve. Dug out by Opp. Wertman, opposite side, little hit. Goes to Nagowski. Ding's going to go up off the block by Schwab. Wilsey to Differding, sends it over the net. Dug out by Wilprecht, front line. Back to Kadoon for the Bulldogs. Front line to Ding, sends it over on the attack. Dug out by Differding. Wertman on the far side. Cross-court shot. Dug out by Nagowski for the Bulldogs. And a little jump shot put over the net. Two-handed jumper by Mayer. That was Lucy Mayer, the 5'9" sophomore, with the kill. And another point, or I should say another timeout. The Broncos down by 10 in this third set to Sargent County. 18-8 up on the Bank North scoreboard. We will step away for another timeout.
Buying and selling heavy equipment at purplewave.com saves time and money. We handle all of the details, including pictures, videos, marketing, titles, and payments.
It was almost immediately over the top with the customer service. I've just never ever experienced that before with any other auction service. They're constantly working for me as the seller, and I really like that.
Purple Wave Auction is straight, simple, sold.
Riverside Building Center in Lisbon is the premier building supply headquarters in southeastern North.
All right, welcome back here, LiveEvent.com. Sargent County in control, now up by 10, 18-8 in this third set. Served by Bogart. It was Wertman on the attack. Sent it to Nagowski. Now Nagowski hits a cross-court shot, partially blocked by the Broncos. Opp pushed over by Nelson. As Kadoon sets it over to the opposite side. Now Wertman's going to go up. Double-handed, pushes it over. Kadoon on the attack. Wilsey front line for the Broncos. Sends it to Schwab. Pushed over with two hands. Front line ding is going to go on the attack. Dug out by Opp with the save. Just a little bit too far into the net. Wilsey not able to handle it. Good play by Opp. Just went a little bit too deep into the net for Wilsey. Now 19-8. Served by Bogart. And Wertman goes up off the hands and down. So it was off the fingertips and it hit in the near side far corner. For the point, the Broncos back down by 10 off the kill by Hoff. Differding to serve, gets it to Kadoon. Set over here to the near side, the good dig by Differding. And opposite side hit over by the Broncos. Nagowski's going to hit it over to Nelson for the Broncos. Off the fingertips and into the net, and a point for Sargent County. 20-9, subs in and out. So Yagal's in. Looks like Stroll to serve for Sargent County. And this one, once again, dug out by Differding off the serve, sends it into the net. Broncos not able to rebound, and down 21-9. Stroll to serve again. Dug out by Differding. Wilsey sets it to Hoff, to Nelson with the attack and the kill for Nelson. Broncos down by 11, Adair to serve. With the serve, dug out by Yagal, front line, tapped over. And a good heads-up play by Bogart. Hits the one-handed layup over the net. With 2 kills. 22-10. Wilprecht to serve. Goes to Hoff. Adair. Now Wilsey with the attack. Sends the shot over to Wangler. Wangler gets it over the net. Here's Wertman, opposite side. Yagal, front line. Kadoon with the shot and the kill with the authority. Just like in that first set. Hasn't lost the zip on the ball. Here for Kadoon. Carly Kadoon eating up the Broncos. In this third set, she has 5 kills and a block. And the Broncos with the point now, 23-11. Erdman in to serve. Erdman serves it. Taken by Wilprecht. Front line. Punched over by Yagal. Pushed over by Differding for the Broncos. Back to Wilprecht to the Bulldogs. Kadoon sends it over. Front line, Wilsey. And double hit by Wilsey, 24-11. One point away for the Bulldogs to take this match. Hoff will send it over. Wilprecht digs it out, sends it to the front line. Yagal with the dig, backward dig over the net to Adair, front line. Here's Lind with the attack and the point off the kill for Lind. Differding out, looks like Schwab's in. Hoff also to serve. Broncos are down by 12. Hoff with the jump serve. Dug out by Wangler. Kadoon's going to send it over into the net, and the point for the Broncos. Yeah, Sargent County has a couple points to give up, now 24-13. And the jump serve by Hoff off of Kadoon. And the big dig here to Wilsey. with the attack off the hands and the partial block by the Bulldogs. Cadoon's going to go up. She sends this one off the fingertips, and it was long. In the point, as it was off the fingertips of the Broncos, and that will do it for our match tonight between the Broncos and the Bulldogs, as the Bulldogs victorious in this third set, 25-13 over the Lisbon Broncos, as we will step away for a timeout from our sponsors and come back for Olson Accounting match recap, and then hand out our Enbridge Energy players of the match and our Agassiz Ag Precision play of the match. That's just ahead on yourliveevent.com.
The basic home improvements to complete pre-built homes. Their staff is knowledgeable in every product they sell. With their large inventory and a fleet of 6 delivery vehicles, Riverside Building Center in Lisbon can bring the products to your job site. From a hammer all the way to a home, they have you covered. Visit rbclisbon.com today. That's rbclisbon.com. Riverside Building Center in Lisbon.
Teens are faced with tough decisions all the time, and parents aren't always there when it happens. But that doesn't mean they can't influence their kids to make the right choice, because making that right choice is easier when the wrong one isn't an option. When your teen faces peer pressure, what you give them access to can make all the difference. This message is brought to you by your local public health unit.
Stock Growers Bank is proud to celebrate 125 years of service, and they built a legacy of trust and commitment to the local communities. Loan Officer Wyatt Smith can help achieve your goals and grow your business with confidence. Here's Zach Maralt on his experience.
We tried a few different lenders before purchasing our building, and we eventually ended up going to see Wyatt, who I already personally knew anyways. He made the purchasing process easy. We pretty much had an answer that day, pushed all our accounts there, and it's a great experience.
Wallach Johnson Insurance is your friendly neighborhood team of qualified insurance professionals celebrating over 40 years of service. As an experienced independent insurance agency, they have access to highly rated insurance companies and can shop around to find you an affordable solution for farm, crop, business, home, and auto insurance. Visit them at one of their locations in Lisbon, Winter, or Rutland and get a free quote started today. For more information, go to nd-insure.com.
All right, welcome back, yourliveevent.com, as that'll do it for this evening's match between the Lisbon Broncos and the Sargent County Bulldogs. The Broncos will fall to 3-10 overall on the season, as Sargent County will improve to 5-3 overall. This is a non-region, non-division contest. The Broncos out of Division A, Region 1, Sargent County out of District 1, Region 1, Division B. Sargent County wins this one here with their Olson Accounting match recap. They won that first set by a score of 25-27 over the Lisbon Broncos. The Broncos with the lead for much of the back half of that first set. Back and forth battle ensued after Sargent County tied it up. And then there was a controversial call by the line judge, as the Broncos, and from my vantage point, looked like that point was in, kind of broke the straw that broke the camel's back, as that undid a lot of things for the Broncos, and they would eventually fall in that one by a score of 27-25 to Sargent County. Carly Cadoon in that first set had 5 kills and 2 blocks, leading the way for Sargent County. And then for Lisbon, they had Bryn Wilsey with 4 kills in that first set. And a good back and forth battle, good first set between the two teams. Sargent County would end up pulling away in our second set. They had built a 5-0 lead. The Broncos were able to get themselves back in it and tie it up, but Sargent County ended up pulling away by a score of 25-17. Cadoon for Sargent County a little bit quiet in that second set with 2 kills and a block, but what she wasn't able to do, Engon Deng for the Sargent County Bulldogs picked it up. Yeah, she picked up 4 kills and 2 blocks in our second set. And for the Broncos just balanced scoring, and nobody really taking charge in that second set for the Broncos, as we had Opp with an ace, and then Schwab with a block for the Broncos, Wertman with a kill, and Nelson for Lisbon with 2 kills. in that second set. And then our third set, it was a 25-13 win for Sargent County. And Carly Cadoon coming alive once again for the Bulldogs, taking charge. As she was able to pick up 5 more kills and another block. She had a total of 12 kills and 4 blocks in this match tonight. She had 5 kills and a block, or 2 blocks in the first set, 2 kills and a block in the second set, and then 5 kills and a block in the third set for 12 kills and 4 blocks, leading the way for all players this evening and for the Sargent County Bulldogs to that 3-0 victory over the Lisbon Broncos. And just looking at your individual stats for Lisbon, we had Nelson with 4 kills and a block, Wilsey with 6 kills, Wertman with 3 kills, Schwab with 3 kills and a block, Opp with 2 aces and a kill, Hoff with 2 kills and 2 blocks, 3 kills and 2 blocks, Adair with an ace and a kill, and Lind with a kill. Lind coming off the bench in that third set, picked up a point for the Broncos with a kill. And then for Sargent County Bulldogs, we have Stroll with an ace, Wilprecht with 2 aces, Yegal with a kill, Cadoon with 12 kills and 4 blocks, Mayer with a kill, Bogart with 2 kills in the match, Ding have her down for 5 kills and 2 blocks, Nagowski with a block and a kill, and then Mayer, I have Mayer down for 2 aces, serving for the Sargent County Bulldogs, as that is our set recap, our match recap by Olson Accounting. If you need help with your monthly accounting or payroll, let Cindy and your staff give you a hand. Rely on the friendly team of professionals at Olson Accounting for all your tax and accounting needs. Go to colsoncpa.com. That is your Olson Accounting match recap. Sargent County downs the Lisbon Broncos by a score of 3-0, 3-0 on that Bank North scoreboard. As we will step away, take a word from our sponsors, then hand out our Enbridge Energy Player of the Game and our Agassiz Egg Precision Play of the Game. That's just ahead on your live event.
Farm repairs to maintaining the condition of your vehicle. Trust the staff at Welton's Tire Service. They've served the Lisbon area since 1972, guaranteeing customer satisfaction and workmanship from farm equipment, tire services, and preventative vehicle maintenance. You'll find it all from affordable prices, free estimates, to their knowledgeable technicians answering any question. Welton's Tire Service is locally owned and located on Main Street in Lisbon. For information, go online to weltonstire.net or call 701-683-5136.
All right, welcome back to yourliveevent.com as we have our Agassiz Egg Precision Play of the Day here for Agassiz Egg, your local planning or local precision planning dealer at Agassiz Precision Egg in Hillsboro. Call 701-436-2119 or visit plannerdoc.com. This is your Agassiz Egg Precision Play of the Game, and that's going to that 1-2 combo or 1-2 punch of the Sargent County Bulldogs there with Carly Cadoon and Angon Dang. As Cadoon in that first set with those 5 kills and 2 blocks. She was a little bit quiet in that second set, but that's when Angon Dang ended up stepping up and sent a number of shots to that back line, number of tacks to the back line of the Broncos, and they weren't able to handle it in the second set. She recorded 4 kills and 2 blocks, and then Cadoon cleaned things up in that third set for Sargent County with 5 more kills and a block. And that is your Agassiz Egg Precision Play of the Game, or Precision Play of the Match, going out there to Carly Cadoon and Angon Dang with that 1-2 combo. You have the strength of Cadoon and the height of Dang. Just a little bit too much for the Broncos to handle this evening. Sargent County won by a score of 3-0. And then your Enbridge Energy Player of the Game here for Enbridge Energy. Life takes energy, Enbridge Energy for life. Enbridge.com for career opportunities. And Enbridge Energy Play of the Game goes to Carly Cadoon for a fantastic match this evening with her 12 kills and 4 blocks. She took charge in that first and third set for Sargent County, leading the way for all scorers or all players with those 12 kills and 4 blocks. And she is your Enbridge Energy Player of the Match this evening, as Sargent County will improve their record to 5-3 overall. The Broncos dropped to 3-10, and Lisbon is next active on the 30th of September with another home match versus the Valley City Highlanders. Valley City, the number 3 ranked team in Division A, and Sargent County is also active on the 30th of September. Their next home match versus the Richland Colts And Richland, the number 5 rated team, they're currently at 9-0. And they're the number 5 rated team in Division B girls volleyball. As we wrap things up here from Lisbon High School Gymnasium, just like to remind everybody that we will have more homecoming activities for the Broncos tomorrow evening on yourliveevent.com as the Lisbon Broncos football team take on the Ellendale Column Thunder in their homecoming football game. They will have the halftime show with the Lisbon marching band, so we'll be able to cover that on yourliveevent.com, and then also the Hall of Fame induction. So just like to thank you for tuning in tonight, and if you are on the road this evening, have a safe drive home, and we will see you tomorrow.
While medicine's greatest advancements look like the latest sci-fi, one of our most powerful tools is far more simple, more human. It's a calling to connect with purpose. That's how we're evolving healthcare, by treating people, not just patients, with innovations that amplify healing and lead to more personalized care, guided by the belief we all hold the power to heal.
The Sargent Central Dollars for Scholars chapter is a nonprofit foundation that supports academic success in the community. The mission is to mobilize the community on behalf of post-secondary education success for the students. Dollars for Scholars chapters help hometown students achieve their educational goals by raising scholarship funds, establishing endowments, and more. For more information, scan the QR code on screen or stop by the Sargent Central School District. This game is brought to you in part by Kyle and Kathy Marquette and Brandon and Brianna Hansen family.
At Enbridge, we're focused on relationships. 23 Canadian First Nation and Métis communities now own an equity stake in Enbridge Athabasca Pipelines. In Minnesota, Enbridge has spent $450 million and counting, with Native-owned companies and in wages to tribal members working on Line 3. Every day brings new collaborations, partnerships, and possibilities. Learn more at Enbridge.com.